All right, Marcelo.
Yo.
I'm Jeremy, obviously. You're Marcelo.
Yo.
Let's do some introduction.
So they
say. Yeah, exactly. I don't know, the rumors.
Yes.
Who can tell fact from fiction?
Yes.
Let's start off, I guess, for people who don't know us, I guess let's do some like introduction-y shit.
Okay.
We can play this game called a riff off Abundant Greetings.
Yes.
It basically is like, who are you? Why is it important for you to be here with me right now? And upon whose shoulders do you stand? Like, who are your people? Whose support makes your participation possible? And if you had to make a T-shirt for yourself, what would it say?
Nice. Those are good questions. I'm Marcelo Silva. I'm from Brazil. My background is research and political advising, but since 2017, most of what I do is regarding Web3. I started with a project called Blockchain Scholar in Brazil to help to do the onboarding of teenagers like within the school, because the most difficult thing about onboarding people, mostly from the tough neighborhoods, is that you cannot just ask the person to give a couple of hours of the time to you. You have to make it easier for the person.
Right, because time is money and lots of shit to do.
And money is food. Mm-hmm. So I went to a school in Serra. Serra is the city where I was raised and born. And Serra is a very violent city, but at the same time it's an awesome place to be. It's fun. But I went to a school in Serra. I made an agreement with the principal of the school to teach 1 day a week, 1 hour, to teach about blockchain.
Sick.
From an employment perspective. Opportunities, jobs, opportunities to learn, and mostly it's very hard for people from top neighborhoods in Brazil to get into a university or specialized training in general. Mm-hmm. So with Web3, we can go straight to the point. Like if a teenager starts to learn about NFT at the age of 15, with or without university, by the age of 20, he'll be like
the world-renowned expert.
Yes, exactly. And the project is about that. But right now, why I'm here, I'm a co-founder and community support at ReFi Spring. And at ReFi Spring, what we do is to support the onboarding of communities mostly from the global south to the ReFi ecosystem. And we do that by providing support for them to have the first contact with ReFi through an event. And we support them with event framework, content about ReFi, a list of speakers if they want to, and funds. It's a small funding considering the global north from $300 to $2,000, but for the global south, it's a lot of money.
That stretches.
Yes. For the global south, 2K is 10,000 Brazilian reais, which is almost what a Brazilian earns in a year.
Word.
So
right?
It's a lot of money.
That's
a minimum wage.
Possibility. Right?
Yes, minimum wage. So at ReFi Spring, ReFi Spring was created under ReFi DAO, but then we moved to an independent organization. But most people are really connected to ReFi DAO and to the ecosystem in general.
For sure.
And
we're all friends here.
Yes, of course. And we started 6 months ago at ReFi Spring with a team of 2 people, me and Hirwat. Shout out to Hirwat.
What up, Hirwat?
Yes. and then we moved to a team of 4 people 3 months ago. And we are right now we have events being planned in 27 countries. And mostly, I think from the first 20, 6 were in the global north and 14 in the global south.
Sick.
And while we have crypto events in Amsterdam, Berlin, France, at ReFi Spring we support events in Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Brazil, Southeast Asia. So our idea is to really give the opportunities for the community to have a healthy approach to ReFi. And maybe this would be not only an approach to ReFi, but to Web3 in general. And a good example was the event in Bogota, where we met in body. Not in person.
Actually in body.
Yes. For you who are listening to it, Me and Jeremy, we had a really romantic experience here in Bogota. we went to 2 bars, and both. As we sit on the table, the guy comes and light a candle and put on a little heart on the table. So we are gay in Bogota.
Yeah, definitely.
So shout out for us.
Only in Bogota, though.
Yes.
Only in Bogota, right?
Yes. Yes. So the most events are in Bogota during Devcon.
Yeah.
We have a lot of side events, but and at ReFi Spring we realized it would be like better if you support an event outside Bogota. For a community there will be like for a community who will like struggle to come to Bogota.
Right. Because that's because Devcon is happening in Bogota right now.
Yes.
So it sort of creates this basin of attraction for all these additional events.
Yes. I forgot about Devcon. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
sorry.
Whatever. The Regens hub is the best part of Devcon.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes.
So.
And then we supported ReFi Barichara. Antonio Pagnino was the guy who came to us saying, "Hey, Joe Brewer is organizing a really fucking cool event." Or can I say fucking cool?
I mean, it's just. I mean, who knows? Yeah.
Yes.
Go for it.
Okay. Are you with the police?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Antonio came saying, "Hey, there'll be this amazing event in Bogota, in Barichara. Joe Brewer is running, and so can we have some support from ReFi Spring?" And at the time, like at spot, yes, let's just figure out how to do it.
Right, exactly. That's the ethos. Yes, let's figure out how to do it.
Yes, and they already have the contents, they already have the framework for the event, they already have, we are there, so it was like amazing. The only thing they need was a small funding to bootstrap.
Right.
Just to guarantee like food, like payment for people working at the event.
Right.
And
secure the place.
Yes, secure the place. We are there.
Yeah.
We are there. We are the security.
The rental security of the space.
Yes. So
sure.
we choose to support Barichara because it's outside, but it's happening like in the good timing because as we are back to Bogota. I have contact with people from Barichara, and I keep sending them pictures about, hey, look at this, this is the ReFi ecosystem.
Exactly, this is what's happening.
Yes.
For sure. Maybe we should talk to people a little bit about what is happening in Barichara. Actually, we have completely morphed outside of the realm of introduction, but fuck it, let's let it roll. So, in ReFi Barichara, that was an event in this place called Barichara here in Colombia.
10 hours from Bogota.
Yeah, I mean,
if your car don't broke.
Yeah, exactly. If your car doesn't break down, then it's it's 8 hours, or it could be 12, depending on how your math works. And this nerd, it's interesting. Like Joe Brewer is the name who comes to my mind, even though in actuality of the project that is Barichara, he is probably not the least, but not particularly the most relevant person in the space. But from the outside looking in, he's very visible because of his work on Earth regenerators and his YouTube channel, and he's done. He's done a lot of thinking, and is very earnestly concerned with the space that is regeneration of the physical biosphere.
He's an Earth intellectual.
Yeah, no doubt. So he's visible from the outside, but getting in there, we
see how big the community is and how small he is.
Exactly. You see all of these women, especially, that are networking together and supporting one another's projects. Maritza and her.
Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos, exactly.
Oh, they're amazing. Yeah, Comandante Carlos.
Yeah, what's up, Carlos? Shout out to my man.
Pendejo.
Cabrón. La Raya. Well,
and you know that Maritza also writes poetry.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
But at any rate, there's the Bioparque. So we went around in Barichara, and we spent the first half of every day just going on site visits to all of these different projects that are networked together. Some of them are biological regeneration, community garden, the Bioparque.
Yes.
Some of them are much more community-oriented. The community theater that was developed by
Casa Común.
Yeah, Casa Común. Precisely this hub. Casa Común is probably, I think, one of the most interesting projects because they have got themselves like a seriously legit innovation incubator where they're just like trying shit out and using that space to network different projects together and transform raw materials into finished goods that increases the value for everybody.
Yes, this is ReFi.
Yeah, exactly. This is ReFi. In a nutshell, that is exactly it.
Without any code. Without any carbon credits, this is ReFi.
For sure.
This is regenerative.
Exactly. People actually on the ground doing the work that is regenerating the human spirit, regenerating our sense of community, regenerating the actual biosphere, and turning Earth back into the Garden of Eden.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Yes, please.
Exactly. So in Barichara, we went around and we looked at all of these projects, and then we did some sense making in the afternoon to sort of understand, hey, how does our work in this globally networked ReFi community, how can it support the actions of the people that are on the ground doing the work, and how do we make this event the beginning of a long-term relationship rather than this one-off thing where a bunch of gringos come in and gee, thank you for your extraordinarily cheap beers. But here, have some beers. Get to know the people in the ground.
Yes.
Which is an interesting point. Maybe I'll riff on the Regens Unite because that is a different thing. Somehow it's a different thing.
Yes.
Well, it's completely the same thing.
It's hard to explain how different it is.
Exactly right. So our basic hypothesis is, like I said, these three different sort of subgroups, these nested holons of the work of regeneration. The regeneration of the individual spirit, healing trauma, resolving our differences just so that we can be whole human beings capable of relating to one another.
So easy task.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes,
we got that in a day. The regeneration of our sense of community, just the idea of belonging together and re-indigenizing to a place so that individually I grow to have a relationship with the place I actually am and the people who inhabit it with me. Since, getting to know your neighbors in a lot of places is still really hard. That's a thing that we have to sort of reinvent.
Yes. That's actually, it was good for you to say that because one question that keeps me awake in the night is that with blockchain we built the infrastructure for global truth, global access to truth.
Word.
But then we have this global community of nerds trying to solve world problems.
Right.
But and hence the question. But who we are to our communities,
exactly,
to our neighbors,
right,
to people serving coffee for us. If we're not, if we're like nothing to them, then our global community of nerds will still like isolated from the world.
It's full of shit.
Sorry for interrupting.
No. For real. This is why the work is so extraordinarily important. It's especially this gap between this globally networked thing and the local context that is what Regens Unite is very interesting. So that third nested holon of sort of the big category of regeneration is the biological regeneration. Like I said, turning the earth back into the Garden of Eden, reforestation, just sequestering carbon into the ground, subtropic agroforestry, permaculture, the people that actually are trying to develop a relationship with the land, and especially, here it comes again, produce food at a much more local scale.
Yes, this is important.
Yeah, no doubt. So the idea behind Regens Unite is everybody is sort of working on their individual piece of the puzzle. They're part of this grander scheme that is regeneration, but everybody's sort of over there doing their own thing and their own part of that nested holon. And we think that it makes good, clean sense to bring those peoples together so that they can tell stories, understand that they are part of something that is bigger than their individual effort, to go from this to this lonely fighter sort of ethos, to recognize like, oh no, we are part of this Regen Legion. Like, we are really fucking doing the thing together in earnest, with a sense of purpose. And so bringing people together with the primary goal of developing relationships, like really trying to create an event where we maximize human connection so that we can build that layer of trust, learn to recognize and just relate to each other so that we can take that back into our offline communities and just collaborate, coordinate, as
Yes,
one
yeah.
does, as one does.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's the basic goal of Regens Unite. And then there's ReFi Spring doing almost identical work, but from a different perspective. And interestingly, as well, there's my role as one of the sort of like early adopters. I mean, a founder feels a little contrived for me, considering we're just a group of friends. Like, how do you found a group of friends?
You say it.
Yeah,
you say it.
exactly. No, well, we did find each other, so maybe in that respect it works out. But
you find people, so you're a founder.
yeah, for sure, no doubt about that. No doubt about that. As I found HeroWords, right, at the ReFi conference in the Crypto Commons Hub in Austria, right?
Yes.
Which led to me helping create these event frameworks for you guys and creating these organizer support calls, so that once more we can just create this vibe of like radical participation in ReFi, so that as people enter into the space that is regeneration and ReFi, they just get a sense that, things work way different here. Like, we include and unleash everybody.
Yes.
Like, the feels of this space and the feels of the outside space just like not the same thing. Right?
Yes. Actually, we have a few examples of communities that were onboarded to ReFi prior to DeFi or Web3 in general. They are more use case focused. They are not building solutions to to technology. They are building solutions for their lives, for their own lives. And that is good, because we already have a lot of people working on solutions for the technology, for the protocols, for finance in general. And they are good. They are doing amazing work, and we can see that here at Devcon.
Given tools for us to build upon.
Yes,
and make shit
exactly.
happen.
But those communities, they are the one building trust. And trust, in the end, it's what your life is built around. You don't have truth with your family. You don't have truth with the small business in the corner of your house. You don't have truth with the small farmer providing for the small business, because they don't have like a lot of lawyers and blockchains and accountants.
Not a lot of intermediaries there.
Yes,
all happening in the relational
look into
field.
the eyes of the guy. He say he will pay.
Right.
So forget it. He will pay the next week.
Right.
Stop pushing the guy. So. Those communities are building trust and trust around around tools provided by blockchain.
For sure.
So it's trust built around truth, and this is strong. I think for the next billion people to reach blockchain, to adopt blockchain, I think truth will be like, okay, let's build a global community. But for local communities, for things that matters personally, individually, for each one, trust will be like the things, and that's why ReFi as an ecosystem is so important. That's why reconstruct the social tissue is so important.
Exactly.
Because one can say that, no, you're just gathering people to talk, but no, the product of these gatherings is trust, and this is what binds people together when everything fails.
Exactly.
When I don't know, if Ethereum goes like 1 day offline. 1 day.
Right. Hold on. No, nobody. Don't worry. I don't think that's gonna happen, people. But,
Okay.
But maybe.
Yes, but when everything fails, it's trust. It's, do you trust the guys?
Exactly.
Do you trust your friends? Who will you trust?
Right. Which, coming back to this idea around the localization, right? To be globally networked and connected, but local. That's why. Because when the shit goes down, it will be. I mean, your internet friends will not be there to help put food in your belly, unfortunately. Like, it will be the people that you live around that you're either looking at as like, oh no, I'm scared of these people, or together we can do this. Like, we might be able to figure some shit out, and it might be tough, but like, look, I mean, there's no alternative, in my perspective.
Yes, the alternative is no.
It's the no, exactly. It's just no. I don't want to be a part of that world. I would rather.
The alternative is to be a part of Earth, but underneath
Yeah,
it.
exactly, exactly. Which I mean, maybe that's our karma. I mean, that's absolutely our karma.
Yes,
Sooner
of
or
course.
later, like make
Yes.
friends with it.
Yes, of course. It's the final bond that we have to the Earth
Exactly.
coming back.
Exactly. You know, to be once more a part of it.
Yes, but I wanted to take like 50 or maybe
Yeah, exactly. Long
60
time.
years. Yes,
I want to
yes.
die in Amsterdam,
Yes.
but no time soon.
Yes.
No time soon, for sure.
I'm smelling Amsterdam here.
Yeah, exactly. The work of regeneration of the human spirit
Yes.
sometimes involves contraband substances, which is an interesting space. Why the rules may need to change in order to accommodate the reality.
Yes, yes, of course.
No,
Okay, yes,
no,
yes.
no. Sorry, man. Sorry. No, we're busy. Yep, just leave it
Yes,
there.
leave it
Awesome.
there.
Thanks.
Read there.
Thanks. Perfect.
Read, please.
We have we're in the middle of the Devcon actually
Yes.
here in Bogota, so we are being greeted by the people trying to
Yes,
show
because
their product.
Jeremy is famous, so
Yeah.
there's this chick like really crazy. I need to meet him. And I'm trying to push her, but she's here like
Yep.
crazy.
What can I say? My legend precedes me.
Yes.
So you mentioned a couple things. It's funny. So I notice I want to talk philosophy with you, right? Because
Let's go.
Because this is the ground upon which you so much of your background stands, right?
Yes.
So can you give it? So maybe I can give them your game and
Yes.
see if I miss anything, right? So Marcelo, it turns out, is actually big brain. No surprise there for anybody to talk to him with a PhD in philosophy, right? Now, bringing those chops into the world that is ReFi, can you give me some sense of like, it's funny, right? I get this thing from a lot of people that go, when I talk and they go, well, that's very philosophical. And I go, yes, everything is very philosophical. It's the orientation within which you move through the world. So how does the study of philosophy influence your orientation as you move through the world?
It's very silly because the only thing philosophy for me is a tool. It's not most people from philosophy are like really religious about it, but philosophy for me is more like a tool, and this comes from the fact they're entering Web3 with a PhD. You have to put aside the PhD and just attach to the knowledge of it. And so philosophy for me is a tool, and this tool, it's the thing that keep poking me, saying, hey, less serious. Less serious.
Amen.
Yes, because we don't have solutions in the long run. We don't have no one have solutions in the long run. So we are not in the position of judging other solutions.
Right.
We can say, obviously, we can point that one thing will not work according to our own experience or our own studies or according to what science brings to us till here, but still. The most important thing for me regarding philosophy is the knowledge about, hey, if a person comes to you with a solution or a problem, just listen and try to learn from it. And you'll not solve the problem for the person, but maybe your ears will be the channel for the solution. Like the person will describe the problem, and while describing the problems, we'll find the solution.
Right, come to a better understanding of what they're wrestling with.
And in the ReFi ecosystem, and what I do at ReFi Spring is having the first contact with the organizers, and like there are different people, very different. For example, at the same time I had the call with Jonathan from Uganda.
I gotta call that guy, Jonathan.
Yes.
I'm coming for you.
Yes. At the same time, I had a call with Robert from New York. And Robert worked with finance. John worked organizing small farmers in the region of Tororo, Uganda. And at the same time, I had a call with Flavia from Brazil, from Rio de Janeiro. And in the same day, it was like a non-stop call, like
Context switching.
Yes,
right?
I had this call with Nicholas from Switzerland. So it was like 2 hours.
Right.
And this was like my morning.
Wow.
This
a
is like
lot of different people, a lot of different. But this is the exact point, right? The
And-
work of regeneration is already happening
Yes.
all the fuck over the place.
Yes, and the thing about what philosophy helped was to listen to each other, because it's easy for one to assume the position of, no, I have the solutions, I have the best description of ReFi, of what ReFi is,
Right.
I have the right criticism, I have productive criticism for you. No, that's the thing.
Right.
For everyone, for all those calls, different people, different contexts, different timings. Philosophy keeps poking me, say, hey, you don't have solutions, just listen. Just listen, and let's figure out how we'll support the event. Because at ReFi Spring, one of the things that I do personally is I never say, no, your event doesn't fit our criteria. No, I say, let's work to make it fit.
All right. Amen.
and that's I think that's where philosophy comes to me, poking me, saying, hey, listen.
Listen.
Yes.
Listen. Amen.
Listen.
Which is a great orientation, man. I think so. To build on that. So in addition, the fact that when you say I don't have solutions, or we don't have the right solution, I lean into the orientation of play, right? So that we can engage in the exploration of all those possible solutions
Yes.
in such a way that even though the hour is late and the stakes are high, right?
Yes,
The
of
fucking
course.
climate change is coming down our throat. And bringing all types of additional shocks that we're going to have to absorb and deal with. At the same time, since we don't know which or what or how we're going to get through this thing, how can we engage in the most playful state so that we can feel like the stakes are low and try things out in a way in which keeps us loose and learning, especially at an accelerated pace, rather than like, oh my God, everything's so urgent, everything's so important, I feel super rigid, and as soon as I fall down, which I will fall down, I shatter like glass. Speaking of which, I'm gonna recap a brief story, right? What I want to do is create a sense of play that allows someone to be coming down a hill on their dirt bike and doing a big ass power slide, and then fall and yet fall into a front roll and then jump back up on their feet, right?
No. I didn't do that.
No, that's what happened that last day when you went to Bogota. We went on a bike ride in Barichara. I did that. The problem was only one person saw. So Tom saw. He saw me. He can vouch for this. This is a true story.
Yes.
But I did a power slide coming down this hill. Lost my shit because I don't fucking mountain bike.
Okay.
And then fell forward into this front roll. But the point is that metaphor of being loose enough to fall down and still get back up at the most accelerated pace and continue to make forward progress, because that's at the end of the day, I think the thing that we need most, like continuous forward progress.
Yes.
Learning, adapting, especially from one another.
Yes.
And so
I'm not into a mountain bike, but I'm into road bike, and I do like 140 kilometers.
Jesus Christ.
But I'm working like a lot, and there's like a couple of weeks without being in a bike. But I will go back to it.
Amen. Exactly. Take care of your body, humans.
Yes.
The human body is your vessel. It is your vehicle through this world. So.
And your body.
Yeah. See, speaking of things in need of regeneration. So I want to come back to this idea of like, so what's the difference then between Regens Unite and ReFi Spring? It seems like we're doing the same thing. Number one, like wherever ReFi Spring is, Regens from Regens Unite explicitly are there, like the ReFi Barichara.
Yes.
I was there.
Yes.
Wherever Regens Unite are, there's tons of people from ReFi Spring.
Yes.
You guys are also providing us with funding and as well as support and getting the word out and doing this thing. So I mean, if we're working so intensely and collaborating together, why are we two different things in the first place?
I think ReFi Spring, as I said, we are a small team, and we are more about supporting people who are doing the work, because do the work of regeneration and at all levels, it's really a hard thing, and we are not compensated to do that.
Right.
So I think that yes. But I think the main difference is that Regions Unite try to do the thing, try to bootstrap, try to start the process of regeneration in different layers. And at ReFi Spring, we try to support the people doing that.
Okay.
For example, in Kenya, Kennedy from Shamba Network, he's already gathering community there. He's already gathering the word about ReFi out there. So we just help him to have the event, to gather the community, like a massive amount of people to talk about ReFi in the good place, good food. So same thing in Uganda, same thing in Brazil, in Rio Crypto Hub and in Muda, different things. Rio Crypto Hub is more urban, favela, and Muda is more about people from Afro-Brazilian religions, talking about regenerative economy and how to link that with the ReFi ecosystem. So what we do most at ReFi Spring is to support the people doing the actual work. And we do that because we think those people need support. Both me and Herod were at the front lines. Herod in I think India and England with Extinction Rebellion. And I was with the Brazilian Union of Students protesting for educational rights. So we are the front lines, and we know how hard it is, and we know also how good it is when someone came to just say, I want to help you. This sometimes in the global south, this makes the whole difference. Having someone just to say, I'm here to help. How do you help? Use me.
Right. But this is, I think, part of the aspect that I think is the way in which we unfuck ourselves from the bind that is the prisoner's dilemma, right? From this game theoretical idea that if I turn on you, then I'm at least not being screwed. But we can completely undo that paradigm by just considering each other and supporting one another. Like, as soon as I do that, my whole relationship between you completely changes. And I mean, you're a pretty nice guy, Marcelo. But even if you take advantage of my goodwill, sooner or later, I have every degree of confidence that like the realization will dawn on you and go, wow, if this is the relationship I have in an extractive way with this person, what might become possible if we can transform that? If I switch if my counterpart also switches and starts playing the pro-social game together.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. There they are again.
The fans. Jeremy is so famous here.
Right.
So Vitalik was passing by, just anonymous, and everyone just looking at Jeremy here.
Exactly.
So the thing about abandoning the prisoner dilemma, it's much about truth and trust, because truth is external to individual. Truth you can only observe.
Sure.
You cannot modify truth, but trust is internal. Trust it's a thing that you cannot touch it.
Right.
You cannot buy it.
Exactly. It's a description of the relationship.
Yes, exactly. And trust, it's what allows us. It's what will enable the humanity to fuck with the prisoner dilemma.
Right.
And what we are doing, both of us, in the ReFi ecosystem as a whole, is trying to build the conditions for trust to rise.
Amen.
And some people are doing that by creating like really cool and complex finance systems. Other people are doing that by I don't know, nice coding. Yes.
Or by creating events like in Regens Unite. We are on the ground creating the events to bring people together to build that trust. So for sure. And
I think who are doing the most important work is the communities that are without any help from us right now. The communities we don't know the name.
The unsung hero, the lonely fighter. Right?
Yes, and they are surviving right now with trust. and they have like this resource that. This resource is abundant for them, not for us. You see the thing?
Yeah.
And you cannot tokenize trust. You cannot tokenize.
But what if you could? No. Well, but this is an actually interesting edge case, because I think so much of the work that we recognize in ReFi that separates from DeFi is that the trying to make use of the tools that are Web3 based to enable us to get some form of fluency in reading flows and seeing relationships and interactions, right? You know, you talk about the truth being external.
Look at this style.
Yeah. And the trust being internal, but yet, you know, figuring out a way to help ourselves by being able to recognize and influence that the space upon which trust actually does materialize.
Manu.
Oh, well, there you go. Speaking of truth and trust,
yes.
Another great regen, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of doing good, well, I mean, obviously, there's an infinite amount to say.
Yes,
right?
of course.
You know,
Let's grab a beer.
We've been doing this. Yeah,
Turn off the mic.
Yeah, all right.
Let's tell the truth now.
For sure. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out. My name's Jeremy Akers, Nathaniel Akers. This is Marcelo Silva from ReFi Spring. We've been fucking hanging out, chomping it up at Devcon. Come fuck with us. Hang out in an event.
Yes.
Whether it's Regens Unite or ReFi Spring, we are both going to be doing our absolute damnedest to help support the vibe and ensure that everybody has a way of participating to the best of their ability.
Woohoo!
Bang. Anything you want to say on closing?
Keep doing it.
Word. Keep doing the damn thing. Boom, shakalaka laka.